Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my second video in my bullet journal ideas series. If you haven't watched the first video on this series, I will link it in the description and in the cards for you to check it out. And in this video, I will show you 5 types of habit tracker layouts with different themes. As usual, don't forget to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions for more themes and videos. My first habit tracker has coffee and brown accents as the theme. This theme was inspired by my theme that I did for April. That was the Instagram followers control my bullet journal theme video, and I will leave it in the description. But this one is more coffee related. I started by writing the title with my Tombow brush pen in the number 992 and doing a number effect using my medium brown 947 and a darker brown 899 at the bottom. For the actual tracker, I am going to use little drawings like symbols to identify my habits. So I have water, read, study, no junk food, yoga, and workout. And this is hard to explain. It's easier for you to see how I'm doing the page. But basically, you will have your days down the page and 6 squares next to them, one for each habit. And at the end of the day, you will color the squares in according with the habits that you did throughout the day. It's kind of the reverse layout and just a little change from the usual individual habit trackers that you normally see. But I think that works well too. It's a different way of tracking your habits and it's efficient at the same time. At the bottom of the page, I added a little quote to gather the page all together, and I just added a little shadow on the title to give it more dimension. And this is how the page will turn out at the end of the month. The next layout has neon and fun colors as a theme. I really want to try a variation of this theme for a month, maybe like July or August. And I basically just chose some fun and vibrant colors. In this case, I'm using Tombow brush pens, and the colors will be listed down below. And I'm doing like this bulk letters in caps, and I outlined them using the same Muji Gel Pen. And to really give them that dimension, like they are popping out of the page, I used my Tombow Fudenosuke to do a bold drop shadow. Using the same colors from the title, I'm doing a thick stroke for the header of each habit using my Tombow brush pens, and I will draw the individual grids for each habit below them. This layout is my favorite. I do it all the time. It's simple and easy to set up, and in this case, I'm not even writing the days on the little grids, which makes the page look a lot more minimal. And I'm going to track the same 6 habits as the layout before, and I finished the page by doing a drop shadow to make the theme more cohesive. And all filled out at the end of the month, this is how the page will look like. The next habit tracker page is inspired by my mood tracker that I did back in February earlier this year, where I drew cherry blossoms as my mood metric, and the number of petals in each flower would correspond to a certain mood. But in this case, the number of petals in the flowers correspond to the number of habits that I completed on that day. I've never seen anyone doing this layout where you drew how many habits you did, but I think that it's a different and creative way to track your habits. So I'm just drawing some branches to then add the flowers on, and I'm drawing the flowers in a random order corresponding with the number of habits that I did on each day. At the end of each day, you draw a flower, color them in, and add the day next to it, and you know that on that day you did that amount of habits. In the title, I added a pink drop shadow, and that's how the page would look like in the end of the month. The next layout is a really minimal circular habit tracker with black and gray accents. For the title, I wrote the word habits using my Tombow Fudenosuke in a really minimal and flowy way. And for the tracker, I drew 6 circles, one for each habit, and then I divided them into 32 squares because it's easier than just dividing them into 31. And I did, in this case, 31 squares for each day and one for the symbols of the habits. I love circular trackers, but I don't do them that much because they are a pain to set up and they look kind of wonky, so I don't like to draw a lot. And I added a quote at the end of the page, and for the central part of the tracker, I drew some mountains using different shades of gray, and in this case they are all Tombows, and my blender to help with the blending. To finish everything up, I added the days to the tracker, and this is how the tracker will turn out. And I feel like circular habit trackers are the most satisfying ones to see all filled up at the end of the month. The last tracker has blue and water as the main theme, and I wrote the title using my Tombow dual brush pen in the number 451, and then I used the 452 to do a number effect in the bottom of the letters. For this tracker, I'm doing a huge table to track a lot of habits. This is a good layout if you have more than like 10 or 12 habits to track. And I'm covering the top and left edges of the table because I will be using water and markers to give that blue water effect inside and the outside corner of the table to create the effect that I did back in November last year. To do this, I'm writing with the marker on a piece of plastic. In this case, I'm using plastic wrap and adding some water on top to then transfer the color to the paper. And I'm pushing the plastic down on the paper to give the effect that water is dripping off the table. While that dries, I added a drop shadow to the title to stand out a little bit more. And after that, I wrote the days and the days of the week at the top of the table, and I'm writing my habits on this left section that I did on the table. To complete the tracker, I filled it up using dots to track my habits. Alright, so that is all for my habit tracker layouts and theme ideas. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support me, and follow me on my social medias that will be linked in the description. And leave your thoughts down below about these types of videos because I want to do more in the future, but with your feedback I will be more motivated to do them. So leave it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video.